Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Minecraft Realms. I'm Flying Magpies and I'm back here in a slightly different part of the realm. Let me just go back into first person and there we go. Now, as I was saying, this is a slightly new part of the area. It's not nowhere near my base, or, well, it is sort of near my base. My base is off in this direction. But we're going to do something different in today's episode, and that is starting to build the headquarters of a new project, or a new group that's on the realm. It's called Project Y, and I think we're building and redstone group, or building and redstone for hire groups. So one of the first things we need to do is set up our headquarters, and I am tasked, I believe, with doing the entrance. Now, as you can see, there isn't actually any building yet, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to build the start of a building off in this direction, and then work on the entrance out here. So let me just go and get the resources, and then I'll get started on that now. Okay, and now I've got myself some quartz. Now, we were thinking of doing a big modern building, so that's going to require a lot of quartz and white concrete and things like that. We're thinking a temple-like entrance, so some slabs across through here, like so, and then up here there'd be a flat area with some pillars going off in the middle, so perhaps around here. And let's say every third or fourth one should do it. So every third, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's actually works out quite evenly. So that works out quite well, and I can put in some pillars there. So this is what I'm thinking of the moment of doing here, and that should work quite well. I'll put in another layer of this backstop here, and there we go. And I suppose the rest of the people in Project Y can start working on the rest of this here once we see it. I'll put a message into our Discord channel and they can start working on that. Anyway, so I am tasked with the entrance, and actually looking at that, it looks a little bit small, but oh well. I suppose if they want it bigger, they can expand it. I'll just work on making this a little bit better on the outside at least. And with a little bit more work done, you can see what I've done. I've now put in a little bit of an andesite walkway at the front, and I've marked out the place for a custom tree or garden. So what I'm thinking here is that the path will go all the way around this circle, and this is going to be a circle, by the way, and it should 8, 9, 10, 11. That's a little bit too big, but anyway, what I was thinking is that there'll be walkways in the center, so this will be a big circle in the middle, a custom tree that I mentioned in the middle, and off to the side there can be other building here, another building or something in here. Although that's going to have a pretty big landscaping job, and then we can have a lot of other things around. So this is starting to go pretty well, but there's still a lot more work to do. And we're back, and look at what we have here. We've got something that looks actually very similar to what my town centre back at my base looks, but I think this does give a little bit of a garden area to it. There's a walkway all made of andesite, and we've got the granite half slabs and the spruce leaves. So, and if we look at the front, as I just did a few seconds ago, it does give a little bit of a look. It's plain, and yet it looks a little bit different. It's just a little bit different. And we're back, and have a look at what we've managed to make. We've still got the wide entrance hole that we've got planned over there, but we've managed to put in quite a bit of a garden, and this isn't going to be a fountain like back at my base. This is going to be a tree, and I'm going to custom design that, so probably out of oak saplings and whatnot. I'm yet to do that, of course. Now, what I'm thinking of for over here is possibly just a bit of a flower garden, and some other bits, but if I was looking at the front, I'd say it looks a little bit plain. So yeah, it's just made out of 3 or 4 different blocks. 4 actually. So you've got the spruce leaves and the granite and the andesite, that's 3, and then you've got the stone brick, which makes 4. So it's a fairly simple job, and yet it looks reasonable. I could probably change out some of this andesite for a slightly different block and break it up a little, but I'm not quite sure which one. I probably could use regular stone or perhaps grey concrete powder to break it up a little. But I've still got to design quite a little bit more of the garden, I reckon. So yeah, I'll do that and come back in a few minutes, or if you want to finish that. And I'm over here by the shopping district, and I think it's time to tag someone, and I think I'm going to get Roller. If I can get him. Woo! That's a tag! I finally get my revenge from Season 2. That is really good. Well, but the roller 8, you're now tagged. And of course he promised revenge. Ah well, I'm sure I can handle one day what it is. He'll probably just tag me, but oh well. It's been quite fun. I've been waiting, I think, one entire season, because I started this the last season, or last time we had this realm, and the roller started the game, and so I finally, and I was actually the first person he tagged, so I've been waiting for ages to get him back, and there we go, I finally got him. So the roller 8, yes, you are tagged, and hopefully you don't get me anytime soon. Well, after a little bit of tagging fun, I'm back here at the Project Y headquarters, and I'm finally looking at this thing, and it looks quite good. Obviously just the front wall has been done. If we come around to the side, as like so, we can see it's just a blank wall with a bit of quartz and all that. So what I'm thinking at the moment is that we need to have all the outside walls being quartz, and then the inside can be a little bit different. So unfortunately I've run out completely of quartz, so I'm going to have to go into the nether and get myself some. And I've got myself 5 shulker boxes, so that should be quite a lot of quartz, and that should be enough to help me get started on this thing. And once again I'm back here. I've managed to get myself just over 2 shulker boxes worth of quartz, which that is just the quartz itself, which I've managed now to convert all into quartz blocks. So now all I've got to do now is start laying out the framework for this thing, and I'm not really quite sure how deep I want this to go, but I think somewhere around here. And what block is this one? This is at 65. No, this is at 190. So if we go out quite a bit here, we should be able to get a reasonable size of how big the building is going to be. And here we are with 3 other Project Y members. As you can see, we've laid out what we think should be the distance for the entire walls of the Project Y HQ, and now all we need to do is build it up and put all the floors in. What I was thinking for the floors was those oak things, oak stripped logs, all on the bottom. What do we think of that?
Yeah, I like that.
I like it.
That?
Yeah, I like it. Perfect.
So I'll get started on building these walls. I think we will also want some glass in here as well. Somewhere. I'm not really sure how to make it look good at the moment, though. The one idea I had was to have this entire front porch essentially go all the way around.
Oh yeah.
That might work. I guess
They'll
we'll
probably
see.
want that indent in the wall to go all the way around.
I suppose the first thing we can do is just build up these walls all the way around, at least until where that ledge goes. And we're back here in the Project Y headquarters, and as you can see, we've managed to build up all these quartz blocks, thanks mostly due to my quartz. I don't know what you two guys are doing, but I've contributed the most stuff to this thing. And we've also and we've also put in these nice stripped log floor. Although there was a suggestion earlier to change it up a little bit. You missed one. So, what do we think of this so far, guys?
He's just a gardener. He didn't contribute.
What do we think of this so far, guys?
I love it.
I like it.
You love it. You like it. That's good. That's good. What else can we do to make this thing look better? I mean, obviously put some windows in, but I don't know.
Maybe add a pattern on the walls.
Ooh.
I have an idea for a pattern. I could go into creative and make it and show you.
Yeah, that would
That would work.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're off into creative mode to see what we can do. Okay, and not really much has changed around here, but I do have a big idea for this. Now, the idea is to have, instead of having just a big open space and a little bit of a fountain in the middle here, what I'm thinking is that on this back wall over here, we can have a bit of an aquarium, which does mean we might have to change out this back wall, or at least do quite a bit more. And of course we're going to put some tropical fish and some other fish in, and perhaps some coral, all the kinds of things that make the ocean very vibrant now in Minecraft. So I'm going to have to get quite a bit of prismarine. I'm going to have to take out this thing, and of course after we've done the aquarium, I'm thinking of putting a little bit of a reception desk here, and then there'll be some water columns on either side, maybe 2 on this side, 1 up, 1 down, another 2 over here, and they will lead to the offices, which are going to be on the top part of the story. And oh, look at this, another one of our members. And from the looks, Cats actually does agree with that. Cats Jeffrey over there does approve of it, so that's what we're going to go with. And here we are once again with the finished up aquarium. It's probably just a little bit dark, but I think it's got plenty of things. I don't think I've overdone it too much. There's plenty of open spaces. That every block on the floor, as I say that, there's 2 blocks there, but almost every block on the floor has blocks on it. And if we do that, there we go. Where's that glass? I don't have it, but anyway, I was going to take a clip in the middle of me doing this, but I didn't actually end up doing that, as you can see. So, unfortunately, that's not worked out as the way I hoped, but at any rate, I believe this part of the Project Y HQ is now done, and I need to go replace this block, if I can find where I put that glass, and then I'll move on to the next part of today's episode. Actually, now that night has fallen and I can see this thing in the dark, without throwing my beef on the floor, I can see that this thing does look sort of well lit. I mean, you can sort of see some of the things, but I reckon I still need to get some sea lanterns in there, and you can actually see there's a pocket of water up there, which is not quite good, so I'm going to have to get in there and fill that in. So I'm thinking put sea lanterns into this roof up here, and I'll see how it looks. As you can see, it is day once again, and I have put in those sea lanterns back at the aquarium. So what I'm going to do now is find some tropical fish, and they're always found around these coral reefs, so I have to go looking for them, and hopefully I can find a fair few. As you can see, I've got, what is that? That's 42 buckets. So hopefully that's enough to find some tropical fish, although there don't seem to be a lot of them around here. But I'm going to keep looking, and hopefully I can find some and put them into the aquarium, and that will look quite good. Well, while I might not have been successful in finding those tropical fish in that first reef, I've come over to another one, and look what I've found here. It's a shipwreck. So if I'm right, there should be a chest around here somewhere. I actually need to breathe. Oh no, this is not good. This is not good. Not good. Can I get out in time? Yes, I can, and I should be able to get myself up. And there we go, breathing. But yes, as I said, there should be a chest in here somewhere. And so I should be able to find it if I use my axe, which is here. And let's have a look around and see what we can find. No, that's not it. That's not going to be it around here. These things always have to have one. Ah, there it is. Nice and hidden. And of course I blew up the chest. So, what did it have in it? It had some books, it had a treasure map, and some paper, and of course the chest. But the treasure map is the most important thing, and so that should lead us to some treasure, which could lead us to some good things. Well, you're not going to believe it, folks, but in this exact same coral reef, I found yet another shipwreck, and this one actually is a little bit different. It's made of oak and all that, and thankfully this chest here is a little bit easy to find. I mean, there it is. So, oh wow, that's a lot of stuff. I don't think I've got enough room. Poison potato, that's not good. Wheat, I don't really need enchanted that stuff, but I've got pumpkin, that's really good stuff. I need to remember to breathe. I'm not sure if these things come with 1 or 2 chests, so I'm going to have a look around. But hopefully it has another one in here somewhere that I can find. Is there one in here? I can't see any. Is there? And I think that was the only one. That's a bit sad. Ah well, I suppose one is better than none. And it is a bit odd that there are 2 shipwrecks in this reef, but I guess you can get lucky sometimes with these things. Well, you wouldn't believe it, but this is the first tropical fish I've found. Let's see if I can catch it. How do I do it? I think it's a right click. I need to actually catch up with it, and that is not being very successful. Let's see. There we go. 1 tropical fish. Oh wait, there's another. I don't want to fill up my inventory with water buckets, so I'm going to have to make sure I get this exactly right, and I've already filled up a little bit. Oh, come on. And I'm already out of inventory room because of that water bucket, so I'm going to have to settle down, get my shulker box out, and dump some of this stuff in. Actually, this mission into the water has once again brought to mind one of the coral types I didn't gather, that being the blue coral. which is actually a big mistake, because I did have the blue coral fans and just the blue coral itself. So I think I should gather up some of these coral blocks and see if I can find a place for them in the aquarium as well, although it is already pretty full. I guess these might have to drop down from the ceiling, and I guess, well, that actually is a good idea, drop it down from the ceiling. But again, I'll gather this up, see what I can do. Unfortunately, in all this time, I've only managed to gather up 2 tropical fish, which isn't anywhere near what I want. I'm hoping to get around. Wait, is that a? Wait a second. What's this? Oh, look at what we have here. We have a. What is this? What's this? Mine shaft. Well, I'm going to have to shelve that plan to explore that, but I think I'll note down the coords and see if I can do that in a future episode. It's amazing what you can find when you go exploring out in the ocean. This is actually the 4th structure I found in this area as well. I didn't actually show the 3rd one because it was just a little bit of a sandstone things leading into a guardian temple kind of idea. But if this one has anything, I'm going to go for it. Oh, and yes, it does. I'm going to be careful because I'm nearly drowned. Oh, you're serious? That one has nothing in it, and now I have to get my pickaxe, and I'm getting lag. Lag. Hopefully I can get myself out. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit disappointing that I had nothing, but there's a fish over there, and I'm going to get it. And we're off, and I believe it's off. No, it's in this direction. Now we need to make both axes face 0, go towards 0. So it's off in this direction. And I didn't think it was past the swamp. I need to make sure I don't go through the air there. But we're nearly there, and I need to now go in this direction. I'm pretty sure this landscape isn't looking that familiar. Oh, I know. I think this is the back of Storm's place now. And there we go. So I'm home. Whew, that was a bit scary, but I'm home, and I'm back at this aquarium. And now we can take our first look at this when it's all lit up, and boy, that looks good. Still missing the blue bits, but I think I can get in and put all these fish in, but not in, and we can have a look when it's done. And just before the sun rises, we're going to have a look at this, and I think it looks really, really good. Now, I believe there's a bit of an air gap between where the glass is and where the water actually is, but that can't really be helped unless I make this all glass blocks, which I'm not really keen to do. Again, it's just for the depth. But I reckon if I do see any fish die, that's going to be my problem. At any rate, I believe that looks really good, and you can see I put the blue coral there off the ground. There's a blue thing there. These things are growing nicely. I probably should put some of this at the back as well, but I reckon this is all growing quite nicely, and the fish are sitting off very good. So I believe I can call this aquarium mission accomplished, as the sun rises on what I can have contributed so far to the Project Y HQ. And for the last clip of this episode, I thought I'd go and find the treasure at this treasure map. So I believe it doesn't look that far away, because the map has loaded a bit. And as I crash a bit, and as you can see, it's actually right here. That's really close. Let me get my shovel out. Well, I'm going to have to repair that at some point. But let me get my shovel out and dig around here. Let's see, where's the map? It's off in this direction. It should be right around here. As I say, X marks the spot. It's probably, I think it's around here. I can't be quite certain because these things are a little bit off sometimes, and if it's under this, I don't think it's right here. But I can just dig around and have a look. I might have to dig into these things, but hopefully it's nice and close and can find it. Well, I said it earlier, these things are not entirely accurate, but this one is actually pretty accurate. I just was digging in the wrong place. But anyway, I found the treasure, and let's see what's in it. TNT, 2 leads, a heart of the sea, and some chain stuff. I don't really need the chain things, even though I could, I suppose, melt it down. So I'll take the chain things if I have room for them. Let's dump that in there, and I should have enough room for the chain stuff. And there we go. So that is one successfully collected buried treasure, and I've now got myself a heart of the sea, and I think I've got some Nautilus shells back at base. Actually, I think this might be the second conduit I've found. I didn't have a use for the first, but that is a nice successful find. And unfortunately that's all I've got time for today, so let's end things off where we started, at the Project Y headquarters, and we've managed to build all these gardens up as well as these buildings with a little bit of help, as well as find all these fish and all these build up with this aquarium. So that's quite a lot of good work done today, and I'm going to bid you adieu for today. Goodbye!